last night tell you?
This team can be really, really good, Skip. Watching LeBron do what he does, I'm going to be shocked if he doesn't average double-digit assists this season.
How about those double-digit rebounds?
No. That's not going to happen.
He's capable.
No. He doesn't need to exert himself like that, especially year 17. No. The objective, Skip, now is to you make a trade for Anthony Davis to help share some of the load with LeBron James. You have Rondo. So now LeBron doesn't have to worry about all the rebounds. You have AD. You have Dwight Howard. You have JaVale McGee. So 6 rebounds would be plenty for LeBron James. Now, I don't believe his point total is going to be customarily what we're used to seeing, that 26, 27, 28 point total. I believe he's going to be somewhere around 23 to 25 on a nightly basis. But I do believe he'll average somewhere around 10 assists on a nightly basis. Skip, I love to see the passing between him and Anthony Davis. Good luck trying to stop them in the pick and roll. Because watching Anthony Davis last night, Skip, he had 8 assists, and it wasn't the total that I like. It was him being able to pass the ball. We don't normally see him do that on a nightly basis. But to see him pass out of the post, to see him throw the lob to JaVale and Dwight and the backdoor cuts to Avery Bradley, he was unbelievable last night. And Skip, I think we're showing it right there. We're showing the lob that he threw to JaVale. But they put him in the pick and roll. He stops the pick, and then he rolls out on Draymond and blocks his shot. They've never had that before. LeBron has never played with a big guy this talented. And I know he played with Shaq, but when he played with Shaq, that wasn't the Shaq that we saw in Orlando and in his years in L.A. This was an older Shaq, and he wasn't that same player.
Chris Bosh was pretty good for that stretch, but okay, I'll give you that.
Okay, thank you.
Well.
And so I love what I'm seeing. And LeBron, Skip, you see that last night, using that box again. Yeah, everybody bobbing. Hey, LeBron playing in his toolbox again. He doing no-look passes. Yeah, he didn't have to do that. He could have easily just come down the court and kicked it. That old Magic Johnson kick like that. He could have done that. But he said, I want to do something special.
Yep.
I just want to give you guys a sample. Skip, sometimes you go to Costco, you go to Whole Foods, they have samples.
Sure.
You can't get the whole brisket, you can't get the whole, but they give you a little sample, a little taste of what you could possibly get.
It was just preseason.
Just a little taste.
Huh.
You got to ruin everything.
Preview.
What you got to ruin everything?
Well, I was going along with your taste because it was just the preseason. It did not count last night, unless I missed it. Maybe that did count.
Yep, all I'm saying
it felt like it counted 5 games last night.
That was just a sample of what's to come.
Okay.
For 41 straight games.
Yep.
At home, that's what you're going to be able to see at the Staples Center. And we're going to take that show. We're going to take that show on the road too.
Oof.
I love what I saw, Skip. This team has the makings of being something special. I love what I'm seeing from Dwight Howard. Skip, Dwight Howard is Skip. He knows what's been said about him, and rightfully so.
Yep.
He had become a journeyman. He'd become a joke. He'd become a laughingstock because Dwight Howard was one of the preeminent players in the NBA. No matter what he is now, but he was a defensive player of the year 3 straight years in a row, Skip. Could rebound, block shot, could score the bucket. Now all of a sudden he goes from Orlando to L.A. to Houston to Atlanta to Charlotte to Washington, and then goes to the Grizzlies and they say, you want to talk to L.A., go and talk to them.
Yep.
We go, goodbye, get up out of here. But now he seems hungry. He seems to try to rewrite some of the stories that's been written about him. And so I love what I'm seeing. I believe I'm going to be shocked if this team doesn't win at least 56 games. Always help. They're a little older.
Go up?
60-ish? We already got about 3 or 4 cases.
Really?
After I see a couple of games, I might bump it up to 60.
Really?
Might.
65-ish?
No.
Yeah.
60 for
Go
sure.
for the record, maybe?
No, we don't need the record. Because last time a team got the record, what did it do for them?
Fair.
True.
Yeah.
So, this morning, Mr. Sharpe, what's your name, Walter Sharpe? Walter!
Good old Walter.
You got me on the run today. I just go off my eye test, and I just sit back and let it I just soak it in, and I process it, and I cannot tell a lie. I was extremely impressed with the Los Angeles Lakers, albeit in a preseason game, but it was a cavalcade of highlights.
Yes.
It was a tour de force. And I will admit to you, this team is growing on me because everything I saw last night, I didn't like, I loved. Preseason, albeit, I loved it.
Right.
Because the pieces are fitting together immediately. And I will remind everybody, Kyle Kuzma did not play last night. Rondo did not play last night. So I want to put this in this big picture perspective for you. Late last season, the Los Angeles Lakers front office was ridiculed and nationally condemned as a clown show.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yes.
Day after day, we sat here and said, clown show,
Yeah.
embarrassment.
Yep.
These are the Lakers.
Yep.
Somewhere, Jerry Buss is spinning in his grave at what's happened under his daughter, Jeannie.
Correct.
Because this is a dysfunctional mess featuring what sounded like Linda Rambis running the operation.
Yes.
Correct.
And her husband, Kurt Rambis, sort of presiding over the basketball side.
Right.
And it felt like a Rambis show. And I remind everybody, Magic Johnson just walked out the back door one night. He just said, I've had enough. And then he condemned Rob Pelinka for backstabbing.
Yep.
Magic Johnson, the ultimate Laker,
Yeah.
the greatest Laker, the most beloved Laker, quit on the Lakers.
Yep.
I just want to keep this in perspective. That was just at the end of last year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, basically.
You're right. Doesn't
And
feel long ago.
Rob Pelinka was nationally condemned as the ex-agent of Kobe Bryant, but an ex-agent nobody trusted. He couldn't get people to take his calls around the league, we were told,
Right.
it was reported, because nobody trusted him, especially in the wake of Magic condemning him for betrayal.
Right.
Think about this. And all of a sudden last night, I sat back in the third quarter and I thought, you know what? Rob Pelinka is in line for Executive of the Year here. And I'm not kidding. I'm
Yeah.
not making a joke.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes.
This roster is sensationally deep.
Right.
And he got put way behind the 8 ball by number 2.
Yes.
Did he not?
Yes.
Because number 2 really left them low and dry. Not high and dry, low and dry. Because it went right to the 11th hour. They thought they had it.
This ain't the 11th hour. This is the 12th hour.
It was the 12th hour. And he just jerked the rug right out from
Did.
underneath him. And he not only signed with another team, he signed with the team that
In the building.
shares the building.
Yep.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, what a screw job. Because the Lakers could have gone there. They could have gone after him. They could have gone after him. And look what he did. Look what he salvaged. Because what I love the most about the depth of this roster is LeBron James, who was defensively challenged last year, is suddenly surrounded by a whole bunch of guys who really defend, man.
Yes.
Avery Bradley will get up in your face. Danny Green is more of a finesse defender. He's not a tough guy defender, but
right.
he will really defend at a high level.
Yes.
Jared Dudley, I go up and down with him, but he will defend you.
Yeah.
He's a crafty defender. My point is, last night, it's rubbing off on LeBron because, seriously, I'm not exaggerating. Last night, LeBron played the hardest defense I've seen him play since he joined the Lakers, and that includes how many games he played? 55 last year. I did not see him in any of those 55 games that counted last year, played defense as hard as he played from start to finish last night.
Okay.
Seriously, he was locked in and fighting hard on defense. He was running out on shooters.
Yep.
We saw last year the low light was Kuzma had to push him out to go cover a shooter, Gallinari. So I sat back and I said, here's Anthony Davis so happy, and his quotes were so happy. We're playing together and we're playing for each other. It sounded like Kentucky, you know, like it was a college team, right? Didn't it? Like he was just, and again, my fear for him is that spotlight's going to get a little too hot for him because he's never felt it before. And maybe it's still preseason and it hasn't started yet. But then what was his big message after the game? I felt like I didn't have to carry the load for the first time in my pro career. I felt like everybody could contribute because last night everybody did.
They did.
And to your point, he had 8 assists. So he got to play a little point. And I loved watching LeBron mostly do what he does the best. And he is still the best passer in basketball. He just is. Period. End of story. I don't see how anybody's even in a conversation with him for passing the basketball.
Right.
And so for much of the game, he played the point. He ran the show.
He did.
He distributed the basketball the way nobody can. And they're all vibing off each other. And it was come one, come all for one, one for all. Whoever's turn it is, they shot it. It was fun to watch.
Right.
Now, for the perspective, I couldn't even recognize what's left of Golden State. And just for the perspective, I went back to the end of last year with the Lakers. Think of what's happened to Golden State. I just want to refresh people's memory. Think about what we saw at the end of the year from Golden State. So obviously now there's no KD, there's no Clay, there's no DeMarcus Cousins, there's no Iguodala, there's no Sean Livingston, there's no Quinn Cook, because guess who he plays for? And guess what he did last night? He took it out on his ex-team.
And that was the thing, Skip. I like Quinn Cook, and I'm like, is this the was he just amped because he was going against his former team because they didn't want?
But I still like him a lot.
I do too. Skip, he played well for Golden State last year in those little 14, 15
and he's
minutes.
a fearless shooter. Would make 4 out of 5 threes.
Yes.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.